Okay, let's put some smiles on those arty faces. Right. I've been asked to break down the thought process a little bit about how I put a drawing together and what's going through my mind a little bit. Whew. You don't want to know what's going through my mind. I'm I'm a bit of a lunatic. Right. For example, today's word on the Inktober is golden. So the whole beginning part is you breaking down your thought process about gold, a bar of gold, a golden award, a golden cup, the Oscars. What else is golden? Honey is golden. So you're trying to think about the first of all the concept idea. So honey is quite a nice. Honey is golden, so let's go with that a little bit. Gives us more kind of options, I guess. So think about gold, honey, bees. Who eats honey? Bears. Bears. Okay, so we're starting to put some thoughts together there. So bees are going to be easy to draw. Dripping honey from some kind of nest of something is going to be easy. So we're going to be thinking about a bear. Now, the basic concept of a bear is going to be a thick kind of shape of a bear. Basically like that, okay? That's basic of a bear shape. Shorter legs, okay. So now you got to start thinking about the pose of the bear. The bear is going to kind of maybe be leaning in. So you're going to start breaking down the shapes. Maybe start thinking about the character of the bear. Now with the bear head, we don't really want to do it too square, so we're going to be thinking about starting off with a nice, I'm just drawing with a biro at the morning. It's just a big biro, nothing special. And we're starting to think about the bear's big nose and his kind of jaw, if you wish. His eyes are here, his ears are here. We'll have the bear's neck, so it'd be nice to kind of join that off. So we've got quite a nice big shape there for a bear, if you can imagine shading him in. Something like that. So that's the kind of idea that we're going with, some kind of side view of the bear, maybe as he's leaning up towards honey. The body of the bear, we're not going to do it so square, so let's try and make it a bit more comical. Let's try and give him more of a pear-shaped body. Something like that. Okay? So we're going to be leaning him in. We'll have basically the chest. We'll be having a large waist, which is this part. Point 1, point 2, point 1, point 2. And we're going to be kind of leaning him into that kind of pose. Okay? So that's basically, we're going to be putting that head on top of that. So we'll put some kind of head there with the eye, with the ear, with our nose, with our comical big bear nose, and we'll get him into some kind of bear shape. And that is the basic concept of structure and putting a shape together, putting a character together, is basically by putting shapes together, simplifying shapes. And that's usually the way I do it in my head. I don't really draw it down so much because I've kind of been drawing for so long that I kind of have, you know, big circle, small circle, smaller circle, that type of feeling. So that's the way that my mind is thinking about doing this bear, okay? And in your concept for your thing, you need honey and you need bees. So in the same way, also simplifying down maybe for the arms, you could basically do a paw and a shoulder. The same again, we're going on very simple structures. And you can do very big chunky claw fingers for the bear. That would look quite nice. and that is your, and again you can kind of do a smaller paw and a bigger shoulder if you wanted to do of a more kind of comical kind of character. So we're basically putting these elements onto our structure. So it's smaller structures, smaller constructions, and I find if you're concentrating on simple circles and shapes like that, I find it much easier to kind of make a very complicated drawing into something very, very simple. And in the same way that when you're coming down to your concept, your drawing paper, roughly like this, you might start off with a piece of land, you might start off with your bear, and you can see the way that I'm thinking here. I'm thinking on very, very basic structures for our bear. And we might have like a small kind of branch or something, and we might have a nest, again just circles, just kind of roughing in some thoughts, putting down some simple things, breaking everything down. You got the bear's hand, whichever hand you wish to do, this hand or that hand, makes no difference. I would probably suggest the other hand, and then this hand could be, so if we just pretend that that's the far away hand reaching, and we could have again another hand there, kind of making the pose more this type of thing rather than this type of thing where you're cutting off a lot of the drawing, keeping the concept something like this. The arm is here and this arm is reaching, and that's what you can do there. And the same with the legs we were talking about, very short legs. And the same way you can kind of put in a circle as the kind of hip and a circle as the foot, and we're basically just going to join those up in a structure of a foot and a leg. And that's basically the concept. That's basically breaking down what we're going to be doing in our drawing. And you know, you've got the feet there, you've got the body there, his little tail there. You can see the way I'm building this up just with very simple circle structures, and that kind of puts in a plan for me, in my head, about how I'm going to do it. What is today's thing? I'm going to draw a bear, I'm going to draw some honey, I'm going to do some honey dripping, blah blah blah, maybe a bear, and that's enough for me. So in my mind, when I'm putting down the drawing, I wouldn't really be too much thinking about showing the construction. I wouldn't be drawing circles to help me. I would basically be drawing the outline and imagining the circles to be there, you know. Obviously if it's an illustration, I need more detail and I need more accuracy. I would put in some kind of rough structure. But for these kind of demonstration type drawings that I'm doing, I'm kind of thinking in very small things. I'm just drawing the face. I'm just drawing the teeth. I'm just drawing the eyes. I'm just drawing the nose. I'm just drawing that arm. And I concentrate a lot on that, the structure of the arm, as we've done there, by circles. You know, a small circular hand, a bigger circular structure for the shoulder, and breaking it down in very, very, very small ways. Then you can kind of practice more about maybe you want a bigger kind of paw, maybe you want it to be a bit more of a square kind of structure. Then you can kind of draw, I mean, you could do that as a circle, you could do it as a square, and you could draw like little squares for his fingers, another little square for his finger, another little square. In the same way there, we've done it as a circle and a circle and a circle and a circle and a circle. And you can then add your triangle claws to it. And that would kind of give you a very simple structure. Now, the point being, on top of that, once I've done that, I'll use a simple brush pen just as a demonstration. In my mind, I'll be thinking about the structures. I'll be thinking about a circle. My hand is a circle. I'm going to build on the circle. And I will be drawing some kind of hair kind of structure around the fingers. Do you see the difference? and I'm just basically drawing it like that, like a hairy kind of animal. And that's basically the way that I will be working on my structure. And so breaking these down, I've gone through some videos before about breaking down very complex drawings into simplified forms. And the circles and squares and these basic shapes are absolute magical when you're trying to break something down. When you look at something, you can kind of start to break it down into that's a circle, that's a sausage, that's a square, that's a triangle. And you can make very, very complex drawings down into a very, very, very simple structure. Then when you're putting your drawing together, you've kind of gone through the planning process, planning about a bear, a little bit more character, how the pose is going to be, the structure of those poses, building it up into circles. And it doesn't really matter about what the pose is going to be. If you break it down to those simple structures, you will find it much easier to go forward into putting a drawing together. For me, I don't really need to draw a circle, as it were. I can kind of imagine that I've got a big hairy bear and my circle is there, and I've got a hairy tail, and I'm building these details on top of the structure. I think my kind of way of kind of processing these things is much in a very, very simplified form. And I think for those people that are learning to draw, those people that kind of get at the beginning stages of drawing, will find this very, very, very helpful, in the same way that you can put any animal, a pig, a cow, a horse, a tiger, you know, and you can basically break them down into very simple structures. As we did in the goat video, we did a drawing of a goat, the character of a goat, and we kind of broke it down into simple shapes, and we did the drawing together. So our concept drawing will be something like this, and that will be the back leg, as in the back arm, and that's our forward arm, and that will be our structure. Obviously, once you come down to do it, you could do a little bit more of a happy bear. Maybe you could draw an angry bear. That's building onto this that we've already done. We've already designed the character shape, the character structure. And, you know, once you've done the bear's nose and the structure, you could make him into a kind of a happy bear, you know. He's seen the honey and he's very happy about it. Again, the eyebrows will give a lot of expression, bringing up the eyebrow to show his excitement. And again, we're just working on some very, very, very basic structures. The same character, you can put some teeth on him if you wish, kind of give him a bit more of a bear character. And that's basically the same structure as this one. We're just building again on the expressions. I've done some earlier videos on drawing expressions and how to put them together. So the next stage of the video will be me putting together this drawing using this character, using this concept of a bear with honey. And while I'm drawing it, try to imagine the circles. I will be explaining as I go. Circle 1 will be the chest, circle 2 will be the hips, circle 3 will be the head maybe, and I can talk you through that as well. So that's our basic plan. This is our basic plan for our drawing that's coming, okay? And you're very welcome to kind of put this video down and kind of work through it in a slower way, and you can kind of draw your version of it possibly. Thinking about this, the word today is golden, and honey, which is the concept part here of the dripping honey from a pot. And The drawing will vary slightly from this, but this is basically the structure of what I will be planning. You know, whether I bend the back this way or I bend the back the other way. If I was to bend the back a little bit more curved that way, I would have number 1 here, and I would have number 2 here, the hips, and number 3, the head, will still be joined there. That's his ears. And that's your basic structure, basically, whether you have a bent back or a dipped back, whichever you decide to do in your drawing. I hope this helps. I hope this simplifying breaking down of the coming video will help. Do let me know if there's any questions, if there's anything else I can help you with. I've had so many videos, so many questions about the videos, about how I put drawings together in my head and how do I know what to do next. And I think if you were to sit for 5 minutes, make yourself a coffee or a cup of tea or whatever you like, and sit down and think about your drawing and think about the concept of it. Think about breaking it down then into very, very simple shapes. I think you'll find it much, much, much easier to draw. Okay? So, on to part 2, where I will do my ink drawing of my bear and the honey, and hopefully this will give you some clues of what I'm actually doing and how I'm thinking as I'm drawing this out. Okay? I look forward to your questions, and I look forward to seeing what you feel. And I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching, and let's go on to part 2. Okay, welcome back to part 2, where we will start to put the drawing together. There's a little bit of a shadow cut across the page. I hope that doesn't affect anything. We'll get some ink. We will start to work. Remembering our circle 1 will be about here, and our larger circle 2 will be here. Okay? Our hips leading to our legs, our shoulder leading to a smaller head structure here. Okay? The expression will change as I feel when I get there. So, let's get started with some ink. Now the style of the drawing is going to be my usual style, but it's just a line work. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a dip on the back here, leading up to my tail, which will be up here. And this is the top of circle 1. Let's see the little tail at the top there. And usually bears have got this kind of little bobble tail at the back there. So we're bringing that round on the back area here of the drawing. And that's the back of our circle 2. The larger circle, which is his hips area. And I'm just kind of putting in a rough kind of hairy feel to the bear. But you obviously do it as you feel, as you want your bear to be. And this is our smaller structure here. And I'm going to lead that up to the neck, and I'm going to try to think about my structure here of the bear. Okay, so this is going to be my small head structure here. That's my circle there. My hips, my chest is here, and we're going to I'm going to give him a very large kind of triangular nose. Again, simplifying down the nose. The nose is a big triangular shape. As you'll see when I draw it, it's going to be, you know, some kind of big highlight onto it, and it's just almost. And we're going to just add some details in there about the jaw, and that's the big, that's my galloping Mr. Miro, my dog, galloping around to see if there's any squirrels running around that he can chase. And that's the kind of nose area of our bear. That's the big smile here. So I'm going to try and give him some big kind of eyes there. Again, the eyes are just circles, nothing complicated. And I'm just going to try to give him a kind of a little bit not so clever looking bear, because he's obviously going to get very hurt with all these bees and the honey. And that's my eyebrows there, just big hairy eyebrows. And again, this is just our kind of structure of a circle, basically, on the base of his skull. And we can give him a little bit of hair on top of his head and his big ears. His big square, simplifying it down, square shaped ears. Draw the other ear there. Put a little bit of shading in it to make it clear. And that's our bear. And we're going to draw a very big smile. I want to have a kind of quite a happy looking bear. Give him some big hungry teeth. Bears are usually that way in my mind. You know, if I ever go to Canada or something like that, I'll be terrified of bears and stuff like that, you know. Probably a silly thing to say, I'm sure there's, but and that's our lip. So there's our kind of happy looking bear. Now we know that this is our chest area here. We know that we've got arms and things to put in there. And I would suggest doing the closest arm first to kind of give you some idea of, there's the shoulder coming in there. That's the back of the jaw. I'm going to try to bring that arm up as I did in my sketch. Oh, he's seen a squirrel. Did you hear him? And this is my arm coming down to the elbow, which is here. There's my big hairy elbow. And my circle for my hand is going to be about here. And I'm going to draw all the big square chunky fingers here. As we did in the pre-run drawing. And you can decide whether you want to do 3 fingers or however many fingers you want. And that is our structure, our bear, and that's his shoulder there. And you can see he's kind of pulling that arm up as he's going to be reaching out with his other arm. And if we bring that line down through there to the belly, from his chin to his belly, it'll give us a little bit of a structure about where we're going to put the other hand, which I guess is going to be about here somewhere. So let's give him a little beard, a little kind of bear beard, just to keep that lovely furry feel to him. And we're going to follow that line down like that. Now our legs, we have our circular hip here, so I'm going to draw my big leg coming down there. And as we said, it's a big circle here going down to another circle down here, which is going to be the foot. So you know exactly where we are. I'm going to draw another big circular foot thing here. And I'm going to put some big gnarly claws on him. Again, however many claws you wish to do. In this case, I decided I will do 3. Why 3? Doesn't matter. He's a 3-toed bear, that's why. And that is our front leg. Our front leg, because we can then plan the faraway leg, the same as we're doing with this arm. In that structure, in that circle, the hip circle is rather big, the chest, and then the head is up here with our big triangle nose. Nothing special. Okay, we're going to bring that other foot down there, just to show his. I don't like it when the nib grabs the paper like that. It makes a very thick line, and I don't like that. I don't like it when the lines get thick without me wanting them thick. And I'm just going to shade that leg in to kind of give the feeling that it's further back. Check my camera's going, because the cameras have been dreadful recently. They're constantly switching off on me. And that kind of gives us a very nice feeling that the leg is then further back. So this is going to be where we need to concentrate a little bit. That hand has got to be reaching up or pointing to or something for this honey. No, I'm not quite sure. Maybe I should draw my beehive here first. I'm going to do it on a kind of a branch, small branch there. Do a couple of little branchy offshoots just to kind of make sure it's clear what that actually is. Right, I'm going to kind of do a kind of cross hatch type feeling there for the beehive. Can you see that? Yeah. Just to kind of give it a little bit of a honeycomb type of texture to it. Oh. He doesn't usually bark. Sometimes the people in the back have got friends that come and they bring a dog, so maybe if he hears a new dog, he kind of gets a bit protective maybe. But he's usually a very quiet little beast. Except when he sees a squirrel. Right, I'm just darkening that side to emphasize this honey. And maybe I'll try and get some, if I can kind of get it to a point where I will get some lovely drips of honey coming off it. I can probably get in there and do some yellow gold color later on. And that's our honey dripping off. So that now tells us that the bees are there, the honey, the honey's nest is there, the bee's nest is there, so our hand has got to be over here somewhere. Okay, do a few bees. I think bees only have one wing, don't they? That's a strange bee, that one. He's an alien bee. And that's some of the bees there that are floating around. Again, we're just simplifying down the structure of it, just to kind of give us the impression that they are bees, and that is honey. Right, so we're going to imagine our circle of shoulders over here, and our circle of hand is going to be over here. Now maybe I'll do a pointing thing just so that he's kind of like so we've got a big kind of claw there. Again, we're just thinking about a circular structure, nothing more, simplifying it down, and we're putting all those shapes of the fingers on top, whether you want to do it as a circular finger or a square finger, doesn't really matter. Again, when you're doing these drawings, you need to be very forgiving of yourself, okay? You do not get into the point of every time you put down a line you go, oh, it's terrible. Or every time you've drawn a hand you go, oh, it's terrible. Wait until you finish the drawing, then look back at it as a working piece. I highly recommend that. I've seen a billion people that instantly, as soon as they draw something, instantly go, oh, that's a terrible hand. Oh, that's a terrible eyeball. You know, be a little bit forgiving on yourself. So, that's my bear's arm coming down to the elbow. And that's our kind of basic bear, our basic structure of our bear and the honey. You know, once you've done that, once you know where the hand is, you can go in and you can add extra little drops of honey, and you know, and if you're doing your grass, which we'd planned on doing some kind of basic, again, don't be too critical about what your grass looks like. My grass is just little scribbles, okay? And that kind of gives a nice feeling about grass, so, you know, be forgiving. Be nice to your drawings. As you're drawing, feel proud about it. I've just done a circular tail. Give yourself a little bit of credit, say well done, you know. Just checking my cameras are still running. The same with your grass, you know. I mean, I'm just going to do a big splash of honey down here just to really kind of show that this thing is dripping with honey. And there's our big pool of honey on the grass. So you can see how how you can basically put a very complex drawing with a bear and honey pot and the bees and the bee's nest and all of that together. We're putting that all together in a very simplified, once I paint that in yellow and all the honey yellow, the point of the drawing will come across. So that's basically our drawing for today, and I hope you've been drawing along with me. If you haven't, that's cool. You can always run the video back and play it and stop it at your own speed. And if you have any problems, any questions, ask. I'm very happy to do some kind of breakdown for you. Very, very happy. Don't forget to put your name on it, okay? You did it, so be proud of it. There's my little scribbled name down there. My name is Kieron Siemens, and I hope if you enjoyed this, you will go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's so cool to say I've got a channel. I have my own channel, you know. And any comments, any problems, any thoughts, I'd love to hear from you. That is today's drawing, and you did it. Looking over your drawing when you finished, anything that I'm unhappy about, anything that I would like to add? No. The back is a little bit light when I was starting off. I might just darken that up. You don't have to draw so messy. I'm a terrible messy person when I'm drawing. I get such a pleasure about ink. I get overly excited, as you've probably seen in my drawings and my videos. If you haven't seen any of my videos, go and have a look at a few. Send me some comments. Give me some feedback. Always happy to get comments and feedback. There's a million things you can go on and add, and you know, you could put in a little shadow where the bear is. So it kind of makes him look like he's a very big character, which he is. And you can put in a little bit of a shadow there to kind of reinforce that idea. But you know, this is the basic of a drawing. This is the basic of what we've done. We've gone from a very large circle number 2, circle number 1 on the chest. We've done a very small circle. If you can imagine, that's a circle for the head, circle for the chest, a big circle for the hip, circle for the tail, triangle for the nose, a circle for the hand with little pointed triangle claws, circle for the beehive. I mean, you're almost there. I hope this has helped, and I would love to get some comments. That is today's drawing, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe. Very happy to have new subscriptions, some new people, just new followers. It basically tells me that people like what I'm doing, and I should do more. As basic as that. Thank you very, very, very much for watching, and come back for more. Thank you. Bye-bye.